okay, what's the problem? Tobacco is a problem. And so I took tobacco completely out of the equation. So I started experimenting with different herbs. Thank you, Justin. I started experimenting with different herbs, and I found out that the only herb that truly matches the characteristics of tobacco was tea leaves. And so I started replacing my formula for tobacco with tea leaves, and it just went from there. And about 6 months down the road, it's a little over 6 months, I would say, but kept a little bit readjusting the formula. Tea leaves actually burns a little bit different than tobacco does. So just a few tweaks here and there and everything. And then I went back to the TTB and I said, do you guys have any regulation on me now? And they said, no, free and clear to go. And that's what happened.
So
I just
that was the paradigm shift from tobacco to what you've coined this as Teabacco, and this is your trademark, if I understand correctly?
Exactly.
Okay.
I own the word and the logo of HeavenLeaf, as well as the word Teabacco. And the point when I came up with that word was Teabacco essentially stems from tobacco, but it's made out of tea. So that was kind of that little thing that I did there. So
okay. So not only are you 100% natural, but you use tea leaves as a substitute for tobacco. What else really differentiates you from the rest of, maybe other hookah brands out there?
Well, the thing is, in all honesty, I'm not the first person to create the tea-based shisha. There's been a couple of companies out there that have done that. To name a few, I think there's one company called Hookah. There's another one. I forget what they were, but there was 2 or 3 companies that did the tea-based shisha. And when I tried theirs, if you want to smoke this.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And I tried their shishas, what I noticed was I never wanted to make a comparison of my product to someone else, but if I had to make some sort of a judgment, okay, how is the performance of my product to the other competitors? Mine lasted a lot longer, it had a lot more flavor, and it tasted a lot more natural.
What are the advantages of using tea over some of the other non-hookah or non-tobacco alternatives like sugarcane or like, shisha stones or things of that nature?
Well, using pretty much shisha stones and sugarcane, I didn't experiment too much with them. Shisha stones is essentially flavored glycerin, so it's basically a flavored vape. And using sugarcane fibers, I didn't do too much research into it because when you look at the texture, I kind of did a more of a theoretical way of looking at it. I looked at the texture of sugarcane fibers, and it almost resembles nothing of that of tobacco. So what I wanted to do was mimic the feel and the texture and the smoke quality of tobacco, but it not being tobacco. And so the only thing that came close was tea leaves. So, and that's where I kind of went from there. And as soon as I started experimenting with tea leaves, and I saw that it can be able to make the smoke great, and I just continued it from there. Didn't even want to touch sugarcane or